Our lesson today for industrial and agricultural management. We are now in week 3 lesson. Title is Organizational Structures and HR Management in Farms and Factories. And we're going to tackle this one. So sit back, listen, and you may relax now. Once again, I'm your business doctor. And let's start by defining organizational structure. So dalawa yung ating pinaka-topic now. Organizational structure and HR management both for agriculture and factory industrial setup. So first off, yung ating organizational structure. This one is basic. Pag mayroon tayong mga business or organization, organizing is part of management function. We are in a management subject, so it's given that we should know the functions. Diba, pinakaunang ginagawa ng isang manager is to plan, and second one is to organize. So part ng organizing is having an organizational structure. Mas maganda yung meron kang sinusundan na structure kesa wala. If we're going to define organizational structure, this one is from definition from Investopedia. Our structure is a system that outlines how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of an organization. Basic naman to sa isang company, di ba? May mga hierarchy. Meron tayong sino-supervise at meron din supervise sa atin. And if you want to know the flow of transaction, the flow of authority, maganda meron structure na kung saan tayo nagre-report, kung sino may hawak sa atin, kung sino may hinahawakan natin. This one is crucial para magkaroon tayo ng efficient workflow. Nambang din natin hinuhulaan kung saan susunod. Pag-assign, for example, siya lang susunod magde-decide, so ang pinakaunang magde-decide. Kaya meron tayong structure. May mga, if you will imagine, may mga lines ang isang organizational structure. The lines are symbolic, no? Pag nakita natin isang line, ipapunta sa isang box, ibig sabihin niya, may authority doon sa box na yun. Pag nakita nating 5 boxes in one organization structure are connected by lines, sabihin niya, they are connected by function. Pag nakita nating 4 na boxes ay magkakapantay ang level sa organizational structure, we'll assume na yung kanilang level or managerial position are the same. Yan ibig sabihin ng meron tayong mga organizational structure, whether it is in the factory or agricultural setup. No, itong framework na to, needed natin yan for example, if you want to be effective, if you want to improve operational effectiveness and adaptability, no? That is common na meron tayong ganun. So next time, you're going to have to lead, manage an organization, factory, or industry man yan, or agricultural, it is better that you have your organizational structure, the diagram, the framework, na hindi lang siya narrative, hindi na natin ina-explain sa isang paragraph yung mga rules, but we should visualize. Kasi may mga taong they can understand narratives. May mga tao namang they prefer a diagram. Meron tayong, we should be having talaga ng isang structure visually na nakalagay ng isang tinginan. Alam natin kung sino yung leader, manager, or sino yung mga hinahawakan, or to whom somebody is reporting to. No? That is the function, one of the functions. So that is the background of organizational structure. Ito naman yung mga ating sa isang organizational in a factory man or agricultural, For example, no, farms and factories. Ito yung mga, they are separated. They are, talagang, we can say that these two organizations are distinct. Talagang magkakaiba sila. Iba yung operation na ginagawa sa isang factory, operation na ginagawa sa isang agricultural setup, but yet they are interconnected. Kasi lahat sila sa isang environment eh. Example, sa isang town, no? Example, Esteros Town, di ba? Meron diyang may factory, tapos meron ding agricultural. So, ibig sabihin yan, both organizations are coexisting in isang environment. Pare-paro silang ginagalawan na yung kanilang mga client or customers are from the same barangay, from the same town. So, they are coexisting. But sabi ko kanina, they have unique framework. Meron silang iba-ibang mga functions. So, sometimes, separately, they require different types of management strategies. You should be tailoring a management style both for factory and agricultural setup. Kasi iba-iba mga demands dyan, iba mga resource na ginagamit. We should know, for example, sa isang factory, siyempre mga factory workers na dyan, di ba? They have separate types of skills, technical, mechanical, di ba? Sana naman sa mga agricultural setup, we have different types of skills na example, manual labor. So, both set of skills should be allocated. Ayan, to maximize productivity and efficiency. Yan, so pag napunta ka dyan, culture shock ka, di ba? You're managing, for example, in 2024, you're managing a factory, then suddenly you were transferred to a agricultural setup, like for example, farm, di ba? So, ibang setup. Iba yung mga labor law to be complied with, no? From industry and factory. Ito sa mga the factory. Sa mga factory sila. Mga farms, organizational setup in a farm. Hierarchical organizational structure. Hindi masyadong complicated. Pag sinabi natin organizational structure, walang masyadong dito, walang masyadong kailangan mga mano kasi hindi naman dito araw-araw may production, di ba? Ang production dito, for example, once a month, we can see once a month depending on the product. Once a month, quarterly, semi-annual, or annually. Yung produce, no? Or harvest. So, walang parang monitoring lang siya. Na? Hindi tulad sa mga factory na araw-araw may ginagawang products. Dito naman wala. They are just waiting for the yield, no? Or for the produce. Mga ani, no? Na sinasabi natin. So, they have a very simple hierarchy. Isang farm, like example, yung may-ari, sa mismo yung head, the family leads strategic decision. Siya mismo yung isang tatay, di ba? Siya mismo nagde-decide. Wala kailangan mga general manager dito at or CEO. Siya head of the family, right away, he decides. He decides for the farm, di ba? Or for the organization. So, walang masyadong walang masyadong manager, walang masyadong maraming kayado, di ba? But of course, they need workers. The laborers implement daily tasks and operational plans. Mga permisa, wala nang masyadong manager, pero meron supervisor. Supervisors are enough to manage depending on the scale or for example the size of the farm. Naglilibot pag sa factory ang daming players sa loob, so you need for example 5 managers, 5 supervisors, di ba? Isa farm naman may kilman tutukan mga yan di ba? Wala namang ginagawang production, just monitoring, ikot lang, di ba? Example, pag sa farm pag example ang mga products mo ay mga for example, piggery or kambing, no? Parang ano yan, ang tawag ba doon? Iahari mo doon sa bandamuhan ng umaga, tapos kunin mo sa hapon. So, ganun lang. Di ba? Kasi nasabi ko nga, hindi naman tayo confine sa mga agricultural organization na yung mga taniman, babuyan, bakahan. Sabi ko last time, pag sabi agricultural organization now, marami ng klaseng ano ngayon, organization na hindi siya traditional. Nakita sa last time yung nag-raise ng alimango, nag-raise ng crocodile, nasa farm mga to, di ba? Ano ba to? Rabbit tree, right? Mga mushroom production, ostrich, mga non-traditional, mga hydro farming, nasa building. Marami ng ano ngayon eh. Marami ng mga types of products nga na nagpo-fall under agricultural setup. Hindi na tayo ngayon puro taniman, bakahan, manukan. Papan mo sa Thailand, yung mga nag-raise ng mga tilapia. Tapos naman nag-raise ng mga okra na napaka-in-demand pala sa Japan yung okra. Sa atin, di tayo kumakain ng okra pero napaka-laki pala ng market ng okra sa Japan. O, di ba? Kung okra lang itatanim mo, di ba? Meron ka ng revenue. Okay? Meron tayong sa farm, meron tayong flexibility dapat. Matrix structure, ito mga structure na matrix tawag natin dito kasi nga pwede natin siyang baguhin. Kumbaga, one employee may report to different types of managers. Marami may hawak. Hindi tulad nung traditional setup na ikaw ay sa marketing department, nasa marketing ka lang. Pag ikaw ay sa finance, nasa finance ka lang. That is not traditional, di ba? Pero pag sinabi nating matrix organization, one employee may report to different types of managers. Hindi siya fixed. Depending on sino may kailangan sa kanya. Yan tinatawag nating matrix organization. The reason, pag meron tayong matrix organization, it will enable the company for quick response. Tulad nung fix ka lang, dyan ka lang, di ba? Pag dumating yung time na kailangan ng isang department ng tao, baka ayaw mo kasi hindi ka naman kasama doon. Pero pag sinabi natin matrix, you can be transferred. Para kang module, di ba? Na pwede kang ilipat-lipat. That is matrix. So, meron dyang flexibility. And another one, the benefit of matrix organization, merong collaboration. Kasi nga, ang matrix is cross-departmental synergy. Sabihin, hindi siya fixed na marketing department ka lang or finance department ka lang. Collaboration. Kung taga sa marketing ka, you can collaborate with the finance office. Kung nasa finance ka, you can collaborate with the production. Pag nasa HR ka, you can collaborate with the marketing department. So parang nag-criss-crossing, kaya tinawag siyang cross-departmental. Then encourage collaboration. Then, ito yung uso ngayon na structure, na matrix. Hindi ka fix. Pwede kang palipat-lipat. Okay, sa mga factories naman, ito yung mga functional naman di ba? Sa mga factory. Pag sa yung functional, ikaw ay naka-fix sa isang department. Depending on the function that you belong to. Ang mga usong functional organizational structure, yung finance department, accounting department, sales department, marketing department, HR, IT, production. Yan, that is functional organization structure. The benefit of functional organization structure, may efficiency. Kung ba streamlined Streamline lahat ng ginagawa. Kumbaga ikaw ay sa marketing lang, doon sa marketing ka lang. Kumbaga pag meron nagkamali sa isang department, hindi ka pwedeng i-blame. So we can avoid blame throwing, no? Pag sinabi natin functional organizational structure. So to create efficiency. Pag functional, since you are fixed to a department, yung mga rules mo dito is clearly defined. Pag clearly defined ang mga rules mo, example, kung sa job description mo, ikaw ay taga-record ng mga payables ng company, utang ng company, yun na talaga yung gagawin mo. Hindi ka pwedeng ilipat, so you can be held accountable sa ibang mga functions. So pag clearly define ang rules mo sa isang department, so you can be easily accountable. Ikaw talaga yung sagutin mo, di ba? You cannot blame somebody kasi hindi naman sila lumilipat sa yung department, kundi ikaw lang. That is the beauty of functional. Napaka-clear yung roles mo, and at the same time, you can be readily accountable. We can avoid blame throwing, no? Pag sinabi natin functional department. And kumbaga yun lang ang focus mo. Siguro pag nasa focus ka lang dyan, yun lang yung focus mo, you will be more productive kasi wala ka ng ibang inaalala. Ito ulit sa matrix na palipat-lipat ka. Comparative analysis of structure. Ito ay structure complexity, kumbaga comparing farm and industry or agriculture. Mga simple structure, pag sa farm, di ba? Very simple to, napakaliit ng kanyang ang ating mga mga workers or employee sa farm setup. Ayan, kung sino yung owner, siya yung manager. Kung sino yung owner, siya ang general manager. So yung lahat siya na, mayari, tatay. He decides, he handles finances na rin, siya na rin, di ba? Siya rin nag-interview, kumbaga lahat ang operation sa kanya. Kasi wala masyadong ginagawa, di ba? Pag sinabi na ng manager ng isang firm, wala masyadong ginagawa, hindi tulad sa isang office, masyado siyang maraming alalahanin. But you need a farm supervisor. Saka foreman, kasi hindi mo na pwedeng libutin. Example, rancho ang bakahan, no? Bakahan ang iyong business. Ikaw yung owner, since you handle also financing, so sometimes you don't have time to roam around. So you need a foreman or the supervisor. Kasi mga laborers mo, mga people from the daily farming tasks, planting, harvesting, feeding the animals, animal care. Yan naman gumagawa ng hard labor. Mga workers talaga. Sometimes, you also, hindi mo na kailangan ng HR dito sa farm. Kasi may-ari dito, sila rin yung HR, sila nag-interview. Pero pagdating sa finances, siyempre, maganda independent yung finance. Meron ka talaga isang taong tagahawak ng financing. Handles bookkeeping, kasi pag ikaw yung CEO or may-ari ng isang company, may-ari ng farm, yung bookkeeping mo pagre-record, hindi mo na masyadong matututukan. So you need somebody to handle the bookkeeping or recording. Isa na rin yung marketing, di ba? So pag sa farm napaka-simple. Pero sa factory, often exhibit greater complexity. Mas complex sa factory. Pagdating sa organization and roles, sa farm, mas simple. Pagdating sa structure. Pagdating naman sa workforce dynamics, top-level management sa mga factory, they set vision, they make decision. You will notice here, pag sa factory, may top-level management ka pa. Hindi ikaw yung may-ari. But you have a top-level management. You also have the middle management, the frontline workers. You will notice na mas maraming level of employees pagdating sa factory. And sa factory, complete na yung kanilang functional department. Kasi sa factory, meron ka ng HR, meron ka pang finance, meron pang maintenance, meron pang quality assurance. may supply chain ka pa, no? Sa mga farms, walang quality assurance eh. Walang taga-control ang quality sa mga farms. Pero sa mga factory, product should be controlled. Yung kailangan quality should be controlled. Right? Pagdating naman sa workforce dynamic, sa labor management sa farms, seasonal. Di ba? Seasonal ang mga farms. Pwede kang mag-hire ng marami pag season or tanggalin yung iba pag hindi sa seasonal. Depende sa harvest time. Para sa factory, ang dynamics sa factory, mga industry na, all year round, the same level of number of employees ang meron ka. They are more specialized and more consistent. Pagdating natin sa sa mga factory. Sa mga labor naman, di ba? Sa labor naman basta marunong maglinis, pwede na sa farm, di ba? Basta marunong, kahit walang masyadong degree, pwede na sa farm. Sa factory kasi minsan, at least they need a high school graduate or graduate of a 2-year vocational courses para ma-qualify. So, mas dynamic ang workforce sa mga factory or industry. Okay, naman I'm just going to show yung mga types ng organizational structure. Kasi maraming klase ng organizational structure. Example, hierarchical. Ito yung common sa mga farm. Kasi nga, kung sino yung tatay, saan taga-decide, di ba? Tapos mga dalawang anak, ito yung mga supervisor. Hierarchy. Kumbaga, members of the family can manage ang mga factory or agricultural setup. Which is hindi masyadong maganda pag ginamit natin mga members of the family sa isang industry setup. Kasi mga industry setup, functional, no, ang ating ginagamit. Kasi functional, the company is divided into several functions. Marketing, sales, finance, accounting, IT, production, quality assurance, customer service department. So maraming functions. Meron pang research and development. Mga malaking companies, meron pa silang R&D. We call this the research and development department. Ito yung mga taga-research, taga-gawa ng mga innovative products ng isang company. Or you can also divide, mga masyadong malaking company, you can divide a large company depending on products. Example, isang malaking company, you can divide it into the beer division, the beverages division, di ba? Processed food division. Or you can also divide a company depending on the region. Diba? Example, region 1, region 2, you can divide masyadong malaki. Tulad sa mga government offices, di ba? Example, DPWH. You can divide DPWH into different division. Example, region 1, region 2 division, region NCR office, region 4. Yan. Or ayan, the number 4 here is, ito yung sinasabi ng matrix kanina, di ba? I have defined this already. Pag sinabing matrix, you combine all types of division, functional, with employees. Ito yung common, ito yung keyword sa isang matrix department. Malalaman ng matrix ang isang department kung mga empleyado ay nagre-report sa different types of managers. Example, employee A will report to the project manager, will report to the functional manager. Sa marami siyang kumbaga hati yung kanyang function. Pag matrix, may mga companies naman na napaka simple, flat Pag sila yung flat natin, napaka-konti ng level ng management. Fewer management layers, more autonomy for employees, common in smaller or tech-focused units. Pag maliit yung company ang ginagamit, the flat hierarchy or the flat organization. Pag sabi yung flat, hindi masyadong mataas yung layer. Hindi tulad ibang organizations na ang daming may CEO, may vice president, may assistant vice president, may manager, may supervisor, di ba? Daming level. Pag flat kasi, mga dalawang levels lang. Tinawag siyang flat organization, which is common sa mga tech-focused units, yung mga maliliit ng companies, no? Yung mga flat. Maganda yan kasi simple ang authority. Yung flow of transaction hindi masyadong complicated, walang masyadong pipirma. Parang general manager, tapos ilalim, may empleyado na. So parang dalawang levels lang siya, 2 to 3 levels. Sinabi natin flat organization. Okay, best practices. We need organization structure to communicate. For communication, we know to whom are we going to report, and we know who should be reporting to us or who are accountable to us. I mean, organizational structure. And another one, this is needed for quick decision making, adaptable, we can improve collaboration among teams. Yan. Kaya talagang we really need ang isang maganda, clear na organizational structure. Okay, so now we don't have isang org talaga, no? Kaya sabi ko kanina, ang usong ngayon, organization structure is the matrix organization. Kasi we should understand, we should know how to adapt. Yung org chart natin should adapt to different type of specific of needs ng isang organization. Pabago-bago, di ba? So, pag functional kasi, naka-fix no? So, we should be using the matrix type. And dapat continue sa pag-evolve, pag-revise sa mga structure natin para sumasabay tayo sa trend na pabago-bago, no? The situation, environments are always changing. We should always be responding to challenges, responding to opportunities. So, dapat hindi fix ating structure, no? Dapat ay matrix type, continuously evolving ang isang structure. Okay, sa farms naman, key functions, ito sa HR management naman. We are done with this organizational structure. Let's go to the second part of the lecture for the day. This about the HR management, human resource management. Now we are focused on farms and factories type of organizational setup. Let us define first what are the key functions. Kasi pag sinabi ni structure, di ba nag-planning tayo, then we organize. Ang sunod kasi sa organizing is staffing. So, limang functions ng management, after organizing, next is staffing. So, we are here sa HR or human resource management. And we should know the key functions of HRM specifically, no? Kahit farm naman ang ating gagamitin, yung HR is common. Example, kahit sa farm ka, or sa factory or industry, meron talagang gawing recruitment. Ito yung you are gathering people, you are doing manpower pool, nag-iipon ka ng mga prospective employees, alam na yung company. That's recruiting. Whether you can do this by you can have job interview or job fair, or pwede namang walk-in, or pwedeng referral, no? Pag sa recruitment, maraming klase ng recruiting employees for to the company. Pwedeng by invitation, pwedeng by referral, pwedeng by advertising on social media. or newspaper, pwedeng job fair, or pwedeng placement ng isang school. Walk-in, no? Mga klase ng recruitment. And after recruiting them, part of onboarding. Onboarding is you are now orienting the employees to be part of the organization. Giving them the rules, their duties, job description, responsibilities. Mga bagong empleyado, you are now integrating them to the organization. That is onboarding. And you should not forget to train. Pag na-hire sa empleyado, dapat continuous ang kanyang pag-evolve or kanyang development ay dapat tuloy-tuloy. Upskilling, gathering more skills, gathering more knowledge, seminars, training, workshops. That is part of HR, no? Ang HR di lang sa nag-hire empleyado. The HR should train or develop the employees. And the employees should be trained and they should also be monitored. In-evaluate natin sila kung yung kanilang mga rules yung nagagawa, yung kanilang mga skills ay okay pa. Kung mababa na ng skills o dire-training gagawin natin. Ay meron tayong ginagawa ang performance management. Sino ang ipopromote, sino hindi ipopromote, sinong bibigyan ng bonus. Maraming klase ng appraisal, di ba? Appraisal can be 360. Pag sinabing 360, an employee can be appraised, can be evaluated by his subordinates. He can be evaluated by his superior. He can be evaluated by his peers. So, sa kanan, sa kaliwa, sa ilalim, sa taas, ang pwede mag-evaluate sa empleyado. And we call that the 360. Paikot, no? At 360 paikot. And part ng HR, the compensation and benefit management. The employees are the most important asset of the company. So dapat natin pinapabayaan mga to. When it comes to salary, bonuses, workplace safety, compliance, labor, motivation, engagement, training, di ba? Send them outside, attend seminars, team buildings. Yan, no? Work-life balance. Ang ginagawa natin sa empleyado natin. Okay? Those are the basic ginagawa ng isang HR, whether it is in the farm or industry or factory. Exploring HR management. HR importance. Effective HR management should enhance productivity, healthy work environment. Maraming gagawin yung isang HR, diba? Sa nangangalaga ng tao ng isang empleyado ng isang company, diba? Dapat tinutukan yan. So, a good hiring program will make an employee stay in the company for the longest time. Hindi yung bilis ng turnover ng isang empleyado kasi pangit yung hiring process. Okay, the HR should understand the diverse workforce. You should be, because isang HR, you should be trained or you should be aware na time will come na iba-iba ang mga workforce. When it comes to nationality, Asian, Japanese, Chinese. When it comes to ethnicity, taga Luzon, taga Mindanao, taga Visayas. Diverse diverse educational background, diverse personality, different skills levels, different mood, modality, at tantrums. Ayan. So, you should be expecting that. It is critical for HR, ng mga how are you going to have an effective strategy planning. Targeted HR strategies, implementing target HR strategies, address specific challenges, improving compliance. More often than not, ikaw HR, you should know the labor code. Kasi ang labor code, guys, ito yung makabatas sa loob ng isang company that you should know. Kasi ito yung kino-comply natin sa isang organization. Example, salary, the basic minimum wage, yung right sa mga empleyado natin. Example, pag-provide ng overtime, good working condition, yan, grievances handling, collective bargaining agreement. Kasi factory ito no? Common sa mga factory yung nagpo-protesta. Yung mga dati sa agricultural, Hacienda Luisita. Pag makuhaan ko, di ba, Hacienda Luisita, maraming workers sa loob. Yung time comes na nag-protest yung mga workers sa loob ng Hacienda Luisita. They stop working. So, kahit sa factory or agricultural, time will come that you'll be handling grievances or complaints ng mga workers ninyo. So you should be ready for that, mga HR. Challenges. Seasonal. Sa farm, agricultural, HRM, seasonal. May time na you need a good number of employees pag harvest time. Seasonal fluctuation yung demand for the employment. Harvest time, it can be peak season, twice a year, thrice. Kaya mo ng tao, di ba? Yan, challenge sa HR. You cannot hire many employees pag hindi naman peak season. Wala naman silang gagawin. So, lugi yung company, di ba? And another challenge, small family farms, lack of formal HR. Ayan, kumbaga, hindi masyadong tinututukan ni HR pagdating sa mga maliliit na company. Example, not so good employee benefit, walang training, kulang, di ba? Walang evaluation. Kasi maliit nga naman. Another challenge sa mga agricultural, HRM, labor shortage and retention. Kumbaga, kunti lang nagtatagal na mga employee. Lipat-lipat yung mga trabahador. Nagtatagal lang sila, 6 na buwan lang, di ba? Then pagkatapos ng peak season, alis na naman. So, panibagong training na naman. Difficulty attracting and keeping talent due to the demanding nature of farmer. So, may dalawang reason why they are not staying or 2 reasons why the retention is very low. Isang farm. Isang reason kanina, di ba, yung they will not stay kasi seasonal. The reason why they are not staying, mabigat ang trabaho. Hindi kaya ng isang empleyado, so they are leaving work, they are leaving the farm. And transfer to a organization with lighter workload. Siyempre, sa farm nga naman, di ba? Magbubuhat ka ng sako. Ihila ka ng mga animals. So, ang turnover sa farm daw, medyo very high ang turnover. Pag sabi very high turnover, mabilis yung paglilipat sa mga empleyado. Another challenge, technology adoption. Wala masyadong technology na ginagamit sa farm. Ang technology siguro yung mga mechanical, di ba? Tinulad sa mga office na, example, they are using QR code. Mas high ang technology. Although sa farm, may mga technology naman, pero di ba sabi na, iba-ibang level ng technology. May mga technology mechanical. May mga technology naman na dito maganda. Talagang electronic technology sa mga factories, production, companies. Okay, so I'm changing my another one, challenges, more challenges. Labor supply. Labor shortage. Saan? Gagilap ka ng mga tao kung saan lugar ka naghahanap ng mga empleyado. Example, sugarcane plantation. I have watched this one in YouTube video, mga sugarcane plantation. Mga workers sila naghahanap sa ibang probinsya. Yan, kasi nga, pag sugarcane plantation, yung mga tao doon sa Negros for example, may mga plantation din sila. So, nagtrabaho sila sa sarili ng plantation. Kapag wala ng tao, ikaw, sa ibang probinsya ka kukuha. Example, sa Cebu, Bohol, no? Saan ka kukuha ng mga workers mo? Medyo malayo. Regulatory compliance, maraming mga labor code, no, na dapat dapat ay i-follow sa mga regulatory compliance. Example, Philippine Labor Code, yan ang sinusunod natin. Mga labor code, example, sa labor, meron mga labor code sa kahit labor ang yung business, meron ka pa rin susunding mga labor code dyan. Example, sa minimum wage, overtime pay, agricultural, ang sweldo nila sa agricultural ay iba sa non-agricultural na mga industry. Yan, working condition, masyadong ventilated, for example, factory or farm ta, hindi masyadong maganda yung working condition, mainit. Yan, so talagang safety, factory, mga safety is important. Sa mga factory, siyempre, sila ISO certified. It's a very strict yung kanilang safety. Pero sa mga agricultural, since hindi masyadong sa quality control, pinunto kung safety ba yung environment sa loob ng isang agricultural setup. Effective farm HRM. So, when do we say na effective ang farm HRM? Increase productivity, increase efficiency, increase profitability, better train mga empleyado, motivated ang staff. Kahit na ay farm, pero motivated pa rin siya na magtrabaho na maganda. The HR will build a stable, skilled workforce for long-term. Hindi na siya nagtatrabaho but they are being trained para mas sustainable, long-term. Talagang they are trained kahit matagalan. That is good. Farm HRM. Kung they are being teach innovation, they know how to innovate. Pag sa farm, if creativity are being encouraged, ang creativity, adaptation to new farming methods, yan, magandang HRM. Hindi lang sila pinagtatrabaho but they are being taught how to be creative, how to be innovative. Train sila to be more efficient, they are motivated and profitable, no? Yung result. That is good for the HR farm. Pero mga operational risk, no? Isang company, operational, kasi factory, may mga legal risk, example, not following, employing minors, that is legal risk. Financial risk, example, net loss, di masyadong product, di masyadong maraming waste, spoilage, pilferage. So, financial risk, environmental, di ba? Factory, nagtatapon, or sabi natin mga agricultural, nagtatapon din sa mga kanal ng mga waste, ng mga animals, toxic waste naman pag sa mga factory. And of course, merong cultural barriers. Barriers, different nationality. Example, iba ang mga black sa mga Asian, iba ang mga Europeans, di ba? Ethnicity naman, iba ang mga taga Luzon sa mga taga Mindanao. Iba-ibang mga culture sa ibang country, sa ibang yung isang empleyado pwedeng sumagot sa boss, pwedeng tawagin ng first name ang boss. Sa Pilipinas hindi, di ba? Magugulat ka, kaya ikaw yung boss, tapos ang empleyado mo ay Amerikano, tapos sinatawag ko niya sa iyong first name. But that is normal sa kanila. Sa atin hindi. Magugulat ka, ba't ako tinatawag nitong first name? Sa kanila pala, okay lang yun. may barrier. Sa atin kasi, buong taon nagtatrabaho. Sa ibang countries, nagtatrabaho sila na 8 buwan at pagkabakasyon 2 buwan. At sa kanila, talagang everything should be paid overtime. Bawat oras binabayaran sa ibang nationality. Sa atin, di ba? Nag-overtime ka na pero thank you pa rin, walang overtime pay. Pag mayroong empleyado sa farm, for example, na different nationality, pero oras binibilang nila yan na dapat bayad sila. Sa atin hindi. Thank you, di ba? Thank you tawag natin doon. Best practices. Recruitment and onboarding. So that is good, no? After recruiting them, skilled labor, it is important to onboarding. Hindi lang sila hinahire natin, but they should be integrated sa ating company. That is onboarding. We introduce them to the process, to the system, introduce them to the employees. We have 1 month orientation for them before doing the job. It's onboarding. At ang training program, that is continuous. Parang sa mga office din, di ba? Yung mga training natin tuloy-tuloy. Sa kanila, ganun din. Example, factory, training on safety, training on first aid. Sa mga factory, agriculture, common mga accident. The employee should be trained first aid. Tuloy-tuloy. Training on handling machines, para hindi maputol yung kamay, di ba? Training on handling animals. Training on feeding animals, taking good care of the animals. Parang veterinarian ka rin dyan, di ba? And don't forget to evaluate. Performance management, adapting performance management. Example, shifting work is part of performance management. Hindi masyadong pagod. Hindi maghapon. Sa labor code, bawal yung nagtatrabaho sa ng 3-4 hours straight. Dapat mayroong break time. An employee should be motivated. Work-life balance ang tawag natin dyan. Hindi puro trabaho, di ba? Sa government, pero sila tawag na itinatawag na family day. May empleyado pinapauwi alas 3 ng hapon of a certain day para makasama yung mga family. And that is part of work-life balance. But we should also be applying sa mga industry, factory, and agricultural setup. Employee engagement, engagement initiative, implementing recognition, yan. Don't forget to recognize mga empleyado natin. That is good. That is something good for them. Example, employee demand, loyalty. Yan. Simple recognition. Simple, you post their names to the bulletin board kasi sila employee of the month. You give them a token of appreciation, certificate of appreciation, example, gift check, moral booster. Pag natin dyan, di ba? Or, i-reward yung employees, example, di ba? Nag-profit yung company mo ng maganda-ganda. Okay, isang weekend, dalhin mo sa Batangas, mga yan, mag-swimming kayo doon. Mag-team building ka, sagot ng company lahat. Or mag-dinner, no? Sagot ng company. Malaking bagay sana yun empleyado. Kasi they feel that they are recognized or honored, no? Pag ginagawa natin yan. Don't forget, guys, ang safety policies. Health and safety standard. And they should also be trained. How to handle emergency situation. Example, yung simple pag-operate ng fire extinguisher. Simple mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Crucial yan. Health and safety. And also, compliance sa labor code. So, they should, kasi mga empleyado natin, they know the labor code. So, dapat, nag-comply tayo dyan. Safety. Pag food industry lang yung ginagawa, di may Food and Drugs Authority na kinocomply. Sa City Hall, o sa labor code, para maiwasan natin, nagbabayad ka ba ng overtime? Pag yung empleyado mo ba nagtrabaho ng 10 ng gabi, yung 6 ng umaga kinabukasan, binabayaran mo ba siya ng night differential? O dapat meron. Pag inassign mo ba siya sa malayong lugar, binayaran mo ba siya ng hazard pay? O dapat meron yan. Those are practices eh. Technology. Yan. Kaya ginagamit natin, no? Common nating dapat gamitin natin using leveraging modern tools for effective HR management, no? Although kahit yan ay factory or agricultural, we should be using, for example, HR information system. Hindi na manual. Dapat, ano na yan, meron ka ng program yan. Kahit agricultural, no? Example, workforce tracking. Yung bang, isang empleyado mo ay agricultural tapos inassign mo sa malayong lugar, di ba? Yung rancho o yung dito. Yung ranch, yung bakahan, di ba? Malawak ang bakahan. As you can track your employees kung sila ay gumagawa talaga sa loob ng rancho. Tracking system. Payroll dapat automatic, hindi na tayo nagmamanual ang ating mga payroll. Mobile technologies. Common naman yung gumagamit tayo ng di ba? Ng biometric. Sa pag-time in, kahit sa cellphone ka lang, di ba? Biometric, automatic. May time in ka na. Or QR code ang ginagamit. Automation and AI sa mga time in, scheduling, recruitment, screening. May AI silang ginagamit ngayon, AI, no? Kumbaga, hindi ka masyadong mahirapan sa interview. Pag interview ng empleyado, yung AI yung gumagawa. Kasi itong AI, pag ginamit mo sa interview, malalaman ng AI kung isang empleyado will stay in the company for 5 years, will stay in the company for 10 years. Malalaman ng AI automation. O malalaman ng AI na to kung isang empleyado ay magiging pasaway na empleyado in the future. So, AI can help you out pagdating sa mga hiring process, performance analytics. Alaman natin dito sino naman empleyado ang magtatagal by just doing the analytics, statistics. Alaman natin dyan How farms structured. Paano ma-improve ang HR. Regular meetings. Gamit ang SOP kahit yan ang i-farm. Sa mga factory naman, common na may SOP. Meron sila ang manual na sinusunod. Regular meetings. Gamit ang mga software compensation tools at training platforms. And don't forget yung mga extended service para sa kanila. Outsourcing, training, team building, guidance counseling. Kahit factory, may guidance counseling tayo, mga counseling session sa loob ng ating mga companies. Creating an employer of choice culture. We invest in employee development. Ilang companies hindi na ginagawa ito masyado, no? Nag-invest in employee development. Employees should be an investment. Employees ay hindi dapat pinapasweldo lang. We should be investing on employees. Kasi pag nag-train na sa empleyado, tagtagal sa ating company, he will stay in the company for 5 years. So 5 years sa papakinabangan. So, dapat gano'n nating tingin sa kanila. Hindi lang sila commodity na pinapasahod lang natin. These should be partners sa ating company. So given these things, guys, I assume that you got something from the lesson for today. Because I know that is the last slide. Hoping that you got something dito sa ating lecture now. So with this one, I want to thank you all guys for listening. And this has been Dr. Cortez signing off. Ayan. Pa-subscribe naman ako sa aking channel. Maraming salamat. Thank you.